Jamie Warner.
Well, near ideal weather conditions for September. We had another beautiful morning. Started off with comfortably cool morning temperatures, open window weather, and you could keep those windows open into the afternoon with temperatures warming through the 60s, 70s, and up to around 80 degrees. Here's a peek of the morning lows, generally in the 50s. Springfield is sort of one of the warmer spots, 59 degrees. Most locations, though, dipping into the middle and upper 50s. Down the road in Branson, 55 this morning, where we have a current reading of 77. Just shy of 80 degrees in Springfield. Notice areas to the north and west a little bit warmer. This is where we've had the warmest readings this afternoon, generally in the low 80s in areas like Joplin and Goodson and Clinton up through Warsaw. Conditions are quiet locally. That is not going to change right through this upcoming weekend and early next week. We find ourselves in a sweet spot in terms of the weather here in the United States. All the active weather really is going to be focused in the southeastern U.S. here over the next several days. But again, locally, weather conditions are very, very quiet and also very, very comfortable. We've got a very nice feed of mild, dry conditions. Here's a look at our Muggy meter, and you can see that we're leaning toward the pleasant end of the spectrum, not only here in the Ozarks, but stretching north and east across St. Louis over toward Indianapolis. And that is the direction that our air is coming from. And it will continue to come from through Wednesday. There's really no shot at Gulf moisture moving in with the airflow the way it is, generally out of the east to southeast. So that mild, dry air will continue to feed in across the Ozarks, making for very pleasant conditions for this time of the year. Looks like overnight lows once again in the upper 50s in most spots. Here in Springfield, about 60. Winds out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. Temperatures tomorrow will probably be very similar to today, maybe a degree warmer tomorrow afternoon than this afternoon. That means highs around 81 in Springfield, looks like about 83 in Joplin, 83 in Stockton, while areas to the east and southeast will find highs generally in the upper 70s to close to 80 degrees. A 9 again on our colorimeter, given the wonderful weather pattern. Now again, active weather out east and active weather across the Atlantic Ocean. We have 4 different areas that we're watching. We have this feature here now making its way out of the northwest Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. Could become a tropical weather player for parts of the southern Texas coastline over the next several days. And then there's 3 storms behind that one. We have Tropical Storm Isaac. This one will likely take a southerly route into the Caribbean, and that's where it will likely stay. We have another Hurricane Helene here in the East Atlantic. That one will likely recurve across the eastern Atlantic. So really the big show out of the 4 remains Hurricane Florence. And Florence, after weakening a little bit over the last 24 hours, has regained its intensity. And you can see that here on the satellite loop. Look at the eye. That's that feature right there in the middle. Notice how ragged it looks early on, and then here in the last few frames, it gets a nice circular appearance. That indicates that this storm is becoming better organized, it's happier, and it's stronger. Right now we're looking at winds back up to 140 miles per hour. It is a Category 4 hurricane once again, and it looks like it could intensify a bit more over the next 24 hours. And it is still expected to be a major hurricane when it makes landfall, likely on the North Carolina coastline late Thursday. And it looks like this storm may go down as the biggest storm to hit the North Carolina coastline since Hurricane Hazel back in 1954. The bad news is once that storm gets inland, that's where it will sit, and it will produce a lot of rainfall as a result. This is just one model solution, but generally parts of the Carolinas are likely going to see between 1 and 2 feet of rainfall in places through the weekend. So we've got a big impact on the coastline and then a big impact across inland areas due to flooding. Your 7-day forecast are looking quiet locally, but turning warmer. Highs in the upper 80s by Friday, and we'll find that through the weekend into early next week. In fact, early next week, we could see a few spots hitting 90.
Okay, how about our Viewers Club number?
That number tonight is 213-128, and our jackpot is $300.
All right, Jamie, thanks. And coming up on